Bienvenue dans Négatif, le podcast à l'écoute des créateurs et créatrices d'images et de sons. Je m'appelle Thibaut Elie et je suis avec Maxime Rodriguez au ARRAS Film Festival. Aujourd'hui, c'est un drame politique filmé par un réalisateur slovaque se déroulant dans un petit village enneigé. Hello Marko Skop.
Good afternoon.
You are the director of Let There Be Light, a feature film screened in the European competition of the ARRAS Film Festival. Your movie tells the story of Milan, a father working in Germany to provide for his family in a small town in Slovakia. He returns for Christmas, but an event occurs. A young boy kills himself and his son is involved in the group that was bullying the other kid. In this small community begins a story of justice, truth, family and the bonds between them. First, I'd like to ask you how you came up with such an idea of a story.
At the very beginning, when I was starting to write the script, I was interested in the theme of the upbringing of children. But at the same time, in our media, there occurred news about the existence of the paramilitary groups of youngsters. One of these groups was very active and they wanted the media attention because of the political reasons. They wanted to have political impact. And I have found out this topic very interesting also for my commentary as an author. So I combined two main themes in the film. The first one is a family, struggle in the family, how to raise our children is the main question. What does it mean when one of the parents is missing in the family? And the second one was the existence of these nationalistically indoctrinated groups of young people.
So to write your story, did you work alone or alongside a scriptwriter?
I'm the writer of the film, but I'm very grateful to my script consultants or dramaturgs. There were two of them. Zuzana Liová, she herself is a film director and writer. And the second one was František Krehenbíl, who is also the editor of the film. So throughout the process of writing the film, they were really crucial persons for me because they showed me many times very critical mirror and they were a big support for me.
You previously shot two documentaries, Otherworld and Osadne, that both take place in small villages. Are villages good settings for your stories?
Actually, the first one, called Other Worlds, is taking place in the region of Šariš, which is quite remote region or far from the capital of Bratislava. But many scenes are taking place in the cities. I'm coming from the city of Prešov, which has 100,000 inhabitants. And this is where those documentary films are taking place. So probably because I'm coming from this region of Šariš, I'm more intrigued by the stories of people who are not living in the capital of Bratislava.
This is your second feature film in fiction. What did you learn from directing documentaries that may have helped you with directing fiction?
When I was doing both my fiction films, I did a lot of research before writing or starting the shooting. I'm meeting real people in their real environments. I'm trying to, inspire myself by their real stories or real lines, dialogues that they say in their lives or in some concrete situations. I'm using them in the script. So probably this is the most fruitful documentary experience which I'm using while making fiction films.
Would it have been possible that you made a documentary about the same topic?
Yes, for sure it would, but because in the film Let There Be Light I was touching very sensitive topics where children were involved. In documentary film, because these are real people, and after finishing the film it would be with them all their lives, and if we want to touch some difficult themes, some critical elements, then you can hurt them in their real lives. So it's a question of the ethics, of the morality. That's why fiction form allows me to be more free in creating very difficult moments or scenes.
So let's talk about visuals of the movie. Do you feel important that your movie should stay simple or humble in its shape?
For me, it's all about the main idea or main ideas which I try to cover in the film, and I think that the form should suit to it. It should be in the right balance. So in the visual approach, I'm trying to do with in the cooperation with the director of photography to do our best so that the ideas that are in the film are supported by visuals, but not that the visuals took over the ideas, so that the form is not exhibitionistic, if you understand me. So it all comes for me from the point of view that all the elements in the film should be in the right balance.
So alongside the cinematographer, what were your key visual choices that you made?
Because the father, the main character of the film, sees his son many times just like as a shade, as a shadow. He would like to touch him, but he cannot. So we were working a lot with the contrast of the light and the darkness. And the idea was that there are these moments of the enlightenment, or moments when the father discovers some new knowledges, which are like a sparks of the light. That's why we worked a lot with the backlight. Germans call it Kontralicht, and this was the main visual approach in the film. And towards the end of our picture, we tried to make the colors a little bit darker, so that the feeling of the father, of the main character of the film, you as a viewer could go with him through his troubles. So we tried to support the emotion of the film visually very much.
Did you have in mind genre codes such as thriller or suspense movies?
A little bit, but it wasn't the main aim. Yes, there are things which are happening to not only the main character but to the whole family throughout the film. They find themselves in a critical situation, and one could say, yes, our film has a little bit of thriller elements, but it wasn't our goal to make a genre film at all. It's just
a question of balance.
I would say it's a question of the natural improvement of the story.
All right. Your movie approaches the topic of the rise of right-wing extremism in Slovakia, or in Europe in general. In the town, a militia is setting up the defense of the community against foreigners, migrants, and the liberal society. Did you want to make a movie committed or involved, denouncing the mechanism of people withdrawing into themselves?
We are living in the societies that are very polarized recently. We can see it in the United States, in Britain, but also in France. You can see it really everywhere. Probably a little bit more intense is the situation in Central and Eastern Europe, where the voices of the far right are very visible. For example, in our country, in Slovakia, nationalistic far right party is at the moment in the polls before the elections on the second place. So this is a phenomena which we are dealing with in our everyday life. And how I wanted to show it in our film, it's what interests me, what intrigues me is what Jacques Lacan, a French philosopher and French psychoanalyst, called, or he very nicely described it, the role of the individual in the imaginary order of the society. We are tending to look at the individual as at the function. If you fulfill your function in the society, everything is perfect. Everybody likes you. But if you do something different, and especially if the community feels itself that there is some critical moment or crisis, then if you stop to fulfill your function, then you can become dangerous. This is what I try to show in our film.
The movie also shows how children and teenagers are involved in the militia, but we don't see their involvement in the group because your movie is focused on the family. So you chose the point of view mainly of the father, who discovers from the outside how the village really works. Why did you make that choice?
I think that the most scary things in our lives are behind the veil. They are hidden. When you see the evil and you look to the evil directly in the eyes, you can confront yourself with it. But if it's a little bit far away or under the veil, you can feel something is happening under the curtain on the other side, then it's really, really more terrifying. And this is what I was trying to make the audiences to feel. To be as much in the skin of the main character, in his shoes, to experience this fear that something is happening, but I cannot face it.
There is the topic of inside the village with the community, but there was also outside the village with the father that continues to work for money in Germany, outside his own country. There is the choice of staying or going to Germany in the village. Did you want to make a movie about how Europe works nowadays too?
Yes, unfortunately there are many Slovak men and Slovak women who are working abroad as the economical migrants, especially in the regions which are, further from the bigger cities where the economy is running quite okay or quite well, because Slovakia is in green numbers economically. But if you are coming from a smaller city or a village, which is, let's say, at the border with Ukraine or Poland, you cannot make so much money as in the capital of the Bratislava, and you can sometimes it's not easy to find a job even. So many men and women are working abroad, and I think that in these family constellations there are children who are suffering at the first place because the mother figure or the father figure is missing. This is a phenomena which is quite common in our country. Women are going to work to Austria as carers for elderly people mostly. Men are going elsewhere, and this is what I showed also in the previous film Eva Nova, and also I covered this topic in this my second feature film Let There Be Light.
So are we going to see this movie in France for a French audience?
I have a high hope that it could happen. I don't know. We have a international distributor, sales agent who is from France. It's a Paris-based company, Loco Films. They're trying to do their best to get the film to the French distribution. That's why we are also here at this festival to promote the film. So let's hope. I would be very happy, of course. I always, have to hope that people will watch the film also outside the festivals. But let's see. We have to let ourselves to surprise.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you for this interview. À bientôt.